Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Striaton City, where the Striaton Spring are hosting the Malie Draconids, and the Draconids are starting out with one of their pseudo-legendaries, Gudra and Flapple, whereas the Striaton Spring are started out with a Abomasnow and Executor in its Alolan form. Now let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today, the Striaton Spring or the Malie Draconids. Gudra starting out with that speed advantage of 80, and it goes for a foul play, instantly targeting its fellow dragon type in Executor, and it gets that critical hit, instantly taking it down into the yellow. Flapple looking to capitalize as well, goes with an expanding force, and again they're targeting their fellow dragon type Executor, who's already down in the red on the first turn before it's even had the opportunity to make a move. Quick attack now coming from Abomasnow, the speed in which it is very lacking. And now Executor has its chance to make a rebuttal, goes for the Horn Leech. Gotta think it's going to want to target Flapple, it'll be much more effective. Although it does very minor damage to the Grass Dragon type. Executor does get some health back though, and it does get itself back up into the yellow. Now this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle as always, and if we hit that 20-minute time limit, we will go into single battle overtime, which the Striaton Spring are very familiar with. They've gone into overtime 3 times so far this season, as we get a Nightshade coming from Gudra, targeting a Abomasnow. Flapple, that speed advantage, definitely going to the Malie Draconids right now. Goes for a Grass Knot, so it won't be very effective on the grass types, but Abomasnow is very heavy, so that Grass Knot will probably do more damage than expected, taking Abomasnow down into the yellow. Abomasnow is going to respond with a Cotton Spore, but Gudra's Sap Sipper will prevent it from having any effect and only boosting the attack of Gudra, whereas it doesn't affect Flapple at all. Now we get a Bone Rush coming from Executor, continuing to target Flapple. Gets off 1 hit, does barely any damage though. There's 2, and 3. It's got 4, see if it can beat 5 times. It doesn't though, not very effective, only hits 4 times. Now this match has very big implications. Striaton Spring are currently sitting second. They're chasing that top position, whereas the Malie Draconids are 6th, and they're trying to get into the 4th, and this is not what they want. Gudra going with a Memento. It's going to take itself out of this battle unnecessarily. That is horrible play there by the pseudo legendary. It has eliminated itself. It does lower the stats of Abomasnow, but for absolutely no need at all. Gudra was at full health. And now we've got an explosion coming from Flapple. This is insane. Flapple's taken itself out, and it's taken out Executor and Abomasnow. So this battle is practically starting at a clean slate. It is now 4-on-4. I cannot believe Gudra took itself out, and unbelievably Flapple took out Abomasnow and Executor with itself. So now the Malie Draconids send out Draconids. And accompanying it will be another pseudo-legendary in Dragonite. So Malie Draconids are going big here, having both their pseudo-legendaries in this battle. We have the Evolution, Leafeon, and Tangrowth come out for the Striaton Spring. So we already have 4 Pokemon down in this battle, 2 from each side, as Leafeon, now with the speed advantage, has that 95 base speed, and it sets up a Hail. This is not good for the Dragon types. They are very susceptible to Ice attacks. But now everyone's going to be taking damage in between turns from that Hail. Dragonite now. It's going to go with a Shadow Sneak. Targets Leafeon. Doesn't do much damage, however. Tangrowth with its opportunity. And it's going to go with a Mega Kick. Will target the pseudo-legendary. Gets a very good hit there on Dragonite. Now Draconids with its opportunity goes with an Insurance. And the Malie Draconids continue to target Leafeon, taking it down into the yellow, because now everyone's going to take damage from that Hail. Now Striaton Spring have a 7-3 record so far this season, and they're on a 2-game winning streak. If they win this, they can get ever closer to the Olivine, who actually had their winning streak end last week. So this is a big game for the Striaton Spring. Leafeon, still with that speed advantage, is going to go with an Imprison. This could be very good. See, it'll prevent both Dragonite and Draconids from using their Metronome, so they're going to start doing struggle, and they will get recoil damage as Tangrowth goes with a Poison Tail, targeting Dragonite, taking it down into the yellow. So Malie Draconids are unable to use any moves that turn, as everyone now takes damage from that Hail. Malie Draconids did lose last week in the Rivalry Round to the Battle of the Angels, but they are sitting 6th. If they win this could inch them closer to the top 4 as we get ever so closer to the finals. Being in the top 4 heading into the finals is a big advantage as we get a Venom Drench from Leafeon that does fail. Dragonite's going to use that struggle now, targeting Leafeon, takes it down into the red, but Dragonite gets that recoil damage, and Dragonite is also in the red. This is not good for the pseudo legendary as we get a double edge now coming from Tangrowth. And it targets Draconids, a massive hit on Dragon type, taking it down into the yellow as Tangrowth is hurt by the rough skin and hurt by the recoil damage. Everyone's getting recoil damage this turn as Draconids will finish off Leafeon and get its own recoil damage. So Leafeon has been eliminated by the struggle from Draconids, who takes itself down into the red, and here's that hail doing more damage. Dragonite just holds on there. See how Draconids goes. Dragon with a little bit more health left than Dragonite. But this is not good for the Melee Draconids. Even though they have the numbers advantage at the moment, they have very minor health on the field at the moment. Dragonite with that much needed speed advantage though. And it's going to go with a slack off. This is actually a very big move. Dragonite is going to restore some much needed health. So that hail will not take Dragonite out this turn as the Dragonite gets itself back into the green. Tangrowth is going to go with a Leaf Tornado. It's going to get that stab boost being a grass type. And you have to think that Leaf Tornado would have finished Dragonite off even though it's not very effective. Dragonite's accuracy is lowered, so this could be good for the Striaton Spring. Draconids now, going to go with a Cosmic Power. So it's only going to boost its stats. You see those beautiful stars come up around it. But this could be very bad. Draconids raises its defense, but realistically if it takes a hit, it will probably be eliminated. As we get a Flying Press now coming from Cradily, targeting Draconids, and that will finish it off. So Draconids' rough skin will impact on Cradily, but Draconids boosting its stats makes no benefit to it as it is eliminated. So we are now down to 3 versus 3. As that hail hits everyone on the field. As I said, big implications from this matchup. As the 5th Pokemon will come out now for the Melee Draconids. And it's Tramper, the normal dragon type. Tramper comes on, massive special attack of 135. So it could do some massive damage, especially if it can get off a fire move onto the grass types. Dragonite now goes with a Flame Wheel. Speaking of fire type moves, and it's going to target Tangrowth. A huge hit. Tangrowth gets taken down into the red, but it is still holding on. Has its chance to respond now. Going to go with a Bone Rush, but it doesn't affect Dragonite, who's a Dragon Flying type, so it's immune to all ground type attacks. We'll get a Thunder Shock from Cradilla. This would be more likely to do damage to Dragonite, which leaves it paralyzed. So Dragonite will be slowed down through that paralysis and might not be able to move at all. Tramper now goes with a Rest, but its health is already full, so it doesn't have any impact on this battle as that hail finally clears up. Now, as always, in our link below, we do have, in our description below, sorry, we have a link to our Instagram page where you can get regular ladder and fixture updates, as well as our match of the week. And that Fishious Rend from Tangrowth is going to have no effect because Cradilla's Storm Drain will take the attack and boost its special attack. Cradilla better come out with a special attack now. Goes with a Pound, so it doesn't actually take the benefit of Tangrowth, only hindering its teammate. That Pound does get Dragonite down into the red though, as Tramper goes with a Shift Gear. So Tramper's going to be boosting its stats here. Greatly boosts that speed as well as its attack stat. And Dragonite, with that paralysis, is unable to move. That's what we talked about, that risk of being paralyzed. Tramper though now is the quickest Pokemon on the field. Thanks to that speed boost. It's going to go with a Flare Blitz. So we talked about going with those fire type moves on the grass types. Targets Cradily, who is part rock type, so it does prevent it from taking as much damage as a normal grass type would. Tangrowth now goes with the Venom Drench, but it does fail. Cradily was an opportunity to finish off Dragonite here. It's going to go with a Water Spout. This is going to hit both Dragonite and Tramper. And Dragonite is still holding on. Barely, but it is still in there. Now Dragonite's going to go with a Venoshock. Targeting Tangrowth here. This should finish it off. And it does. So Tangrowth has been eliminated. The number 1 ranked Pokemon on the Striaton Spring has been eliminated by the number 1 ranked Pokemon on the Malie Draconids. And last but not least, we have Rillaboom coming out for the Striaton Spring, who's actually the 2nd highest ranked Pokemon on the Spring, and its Grassy Surge hidden ability sets out a grassy terrain. So everybody who outside of Dragonite, due to Dragonite flying above the ground, will be getting health restored in between turns from that grassy terrain. Drampa still with the speed advantage. Gonna go with a bite. Targeting Cradily. Cradily taken down into the red. Let's hope it doesn't flinch here for the Striaton Spring as we get a Magnet Rise coming from Rillaboom. So that Magnet Rise is actually going to cause Rillaboom to levitate. It may not be getting the grassy terrain boost in between turns. Cradily now. It's going to go with a Dark Pulse. This could finish off Dragonite if that's its target. And it is, and that gets the job done. So Dragonite has been taken down. Pseudo Legendary is eliminated. There's that health restoration. So it is down to the final 2 Pokemon on each side. There's that grassy terrain coming into effect for Cradily as well. And as I said, it does not benefit Rillaboom, who's now levitating. And we have Appleton as the 6th Pokemon for the Malie Draconids. We saw its family Flapple earlier in the battle with that massive explosion taking out Exeggutor and Abomasnow. Now Drampa goes with the Focus Energy, so it's just looking to get pumped. Rillaboom looking to take advantage. Gonna go with a Scald. And again, Cradili's Storm Drain takes the attack. Boosting that special attack, Cradily needs to go with a special attack. This is its opportunity. Goes with the Struggle Bug. Surely it's going to want to go for Appleton. Hits both Appleton and Drampa, and it is super effective on Appleton, so it gets a massive hit. Lowering both Appleton and Drampa's special attacks as well. Appleton with its first move of the battle. And it's going to go with a dual Wing Beat. Targeting Cradily, this could finish it off. And it does, so Cradily is eliminated. Rillaboom is the last Pokemon left for the Striaton Spring. It still has the potential to finish off Drampa and Appleton, a fellow Grass type actually. But the numbers advantage is still on the side of the Malie Draconids. Seems like they've always been ahead just by that little bit, except for when Drampa Goodra took itself out earlier in this matchup. Drampa though is going to go with a Scale Shot. It will get that Dragon type stab boost. It gets 2 hits in. Very big 2 hits, but only 2. Drampa does lower its defense in the process as well, but it does boost that speed again. Rillaboom now. It's going to respond with a Fusion Bolt, so it's going for an electric type attack. Goes up into the sky and here it comes down. Targeting Appleton. Does very minor damage to the Grass Dragon type though. Now Appleton's going to respond with a Hold Back. Doesn't do a great deal of damage to Rillaboom however. There's Drampa getting some health restored, as does Appleton, and again, Rillaboom does not get any of the benefits of its own hidden ability due to it levitating now. Drampa now going to go with a Frost Breath, Ice type move on the Grass type Pokemon. And a very big hit, and it actually finishes Rillaboom off with a super effective critical hit. The Malie Draconids have beat this team ranked 2nd on the ladder in Striaton Spring. This is huge for the Draconids. They may be in the top 4 after this battle, which is a big victory. Their record will now go to 7-4. Both teams now will actually be at 7-4. Striaton Spring will stay above the Draconids though, due to those overtime points that they've gotten, as I said earlier. Here's that massive explosion early in the battle too. Unbelievable. Flapple taking out Exeggutor and Abomasnow like that. Very impressive performance by the Malie Draconids. They're going to want to try and continue this as they climb the ladder when next week they go to Vilestone City to face the Vilestone Combat. So that will be a big game. They want to continue the momentum they just built in this battle, beating the Spring, whereas Striaton Spring are going to want to look to respond when they face the Rustboro Rockies. They'll be hosting them in Striaton City, so they won't be travelling again. But that'll also be massive because Rustboro Rockies have built some very impressive momentum over the past few weeks, as they also have been climbing the ladder. So I look forward to that game, but again, very impressive performance. Drampa coming through using its special attacks. And even Dragonite holding on for quite some time. But again, hats off to Malie Draconids. Frost Breath coming through, big finish. Massive hit onto Rillaboom, the Galarian starter. Getting that win for the Malie Draconids. But Nidorinos Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, and let us know in the comments below who you thought was best on field. And always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you next time.